Happy Sunday and welcome back to another episode of This Thing of Ours podcast
where we talk about all of life's highs and lows.
and everything in between. We are your Sundays podcast. Welcome. It's gloomy outside, but your girl is feeling really, really good today. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like a burst of energy that I'm experiencing, but I feel like for the last couple of weeks, I was feeling really down, really sad. Just, those days where you just don't want to get out of bed. You can feel the weather changing, the season changing. What is that? Daylight savings or daylight saving ending or something?
Yeah,
what is that?
Daylight
where it starts
savings.
getting darker.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
Which one is it? The start or the end?
What do you mean?
There's daylight savings and then there's daylight ending?
They're both considered daylight savings time, but in the fall you fall back, and then in the spring you spring forward.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Not every country actually recognizes it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, and I heard that Canada is also looking into getting rid of it. I don't know if they actually are doing it this year.
They have to be. It's on the calendar.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I could have swore last year I heard like this is going to be the last year or something like that. I could have swore I heard that.
Oh, I don't know. Well, we ain't trying to spread false news. So we're going to look into that and then we'll get back to you. But let us know whatever country you're in right now. Do you guys have daylight savings
time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling back to my normal self. Not 100%, but I'm getting back there. But yeah, that's just where I'm at right now with my mental health. I am getting back to feeling like myself. I don't know. How have your mental health been going?
I'm tired. I have a headache today, so I'm not feeling 100%. But I mean, I recently just started a new job. I switched from the position I was in before. It's still very similar position, different company. So that feels good in a sense of, first of all, I'm making more money.
It's always a good thing.
Yes, it is. I mean, there's a few added benefits to it, to be honest. Not just the money. There's a few things that I've noticed so far. I'm sure there will be some negative things. Nowhere is perfect, right? But yeah, it is what it is. And for now, I'm happy with where I'm at.
Well, that's really good. That's a good thing.
But yeah, so on the side, I mentioned this before in podcasts that I do trade Forex, right? So I still do that on the side, but I'm also...
Sorry to interrupt you, but what is the Forex? Because there are still people out there who don't know what Forex is or what it stands for.
Yeah, that's fair.
What it involves.
So basically, Forex stands for the foreign exchange market. So it's similar to trading stocks, but you're trading currencies rather than stocks. So yeah, it's very similar, but you trade one currency against the other. So let's say it's the US versus Canadian dollar. The way it's paired, the US is the first currency and the Canadian dollar is the second currency. So if you're buying that pair, you're buying US dollars and you're selling Canadian dollars.
Oh,
you think the value of the US dollar is going to rise against the Canadian dollar. Yeah.
I remember you started trading back in 2015 or 16. I don't remember.
It was 2016, late 2016 when I first started learning about it. It was actually someone that I went to school with at college. He showed me this website that had like a simulator. But it was for stocks. That's what we were playing around with, right? And I was interested in it, but I wasn't like fully committed to it. I thought it was interesting how you can, buy and sell things, whatever. But I felt like there was a lot of different research and there were so many companies to choose from. It was hard to decide which one to put money onto.
Yeah.
And I just felt like there was so much involved with actually looking into stocks. But on the same website, they had another simulator that I just randomly found one day
Mm-hmm.
that was about Forex, which I had no idea what Forex was. Like at the time, I didn't even know you could trade currencies. I barely even knew you could trade stocks. I thought it was all just like investing. In the US, they have their 401ks, right? Here we have,
Or RRSPs?
yeah, like you invest in RRSPs and they have a portfolio for you. It's all just set it and forget it, basically. And
Yeah, because see, I always thought investing was like when you're giving someone your money and then they will
Mhm,
invest it for you.
mhm.
I never knew that you can do it yourself. But I know that's a lie. I always knew you could because I've heard of stories of other people investing themselves, but I never knew like a common person, like the average Joe person can do it. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah,
Or
you thought you
average
had.
Joanne. I don't even know why we say Joe. Sorry. That's such a weird thing. A
Yeah.
weird thought.
Well, it's, uh,
Like, why do we say average Joe instead of the average Joe and Joanne?
I don't know,
I think that's the female version of the show. Joe?
Jane,
No, Joanne. Sounds more, it makes more sense.
maybe.
Anyways, sorry.
But um yeah, no, and I kind of thought the same thing too. Like people went to school to be like advisors, right? Financial advisors,
Hmm.
financial planners, things like that. So I thought you just gave your money to them or you put it into the bank and the bank did it for you and that was just it.
Hmm.
I didn't know that there was ways that you could do it yourself. I had no idea. But yeah, jumping forward, I learned a little bit about how to actually trade it, trade the currencies using that simulator. And I don't know, I kind of got hooked on it and I thought it was really cool. So I started doing a lot more research into it, different things of why currencies would gain rather than or gain value compared to other countries,
Hmm.
right? Because basically every country has their own currency. Um, yeah, so they're always fluctuating, they're going up and down. Some are gaining, some are losing. So I started learning different reasons why, and there's lots of different things, lots of different reasons why, like the interest rates that the country is setting, the unemployment rates, um, the GDP numbers, gross domestic product. So like, yeah, there's tons of different stuff to know.
So
But
basically, you taught yourself how to do this. Like, did you buy any packages? I don't even know what those things are called. I always see them advertised on YouTube.
um, like training courses,
Yeah, like I don't
no.
really remember everything you've done, but I feel like you were really self-taught. Like you kind of just you watched YouTube videos, you read
Yeah.
books, and then you were just taking it from there.
Yeah, no, I never did an actual training course. I never paid for that, but yes, I just watched YouTube videos and I bought a few books, read quite a few books actually. Um, and I feel like I really went hard,
Hmm.
like a little bit too much, I think, at one point
Yeah.
to where it actually started to affect our relationship.
Yeah. Yes, I remember. I
Hmm.
remember like wanting to go see a movie or wanting to just, sit on the couch, talk, or just watch a movie on the couch. And then you'd be there on your computer, just zoned into it, completely blanking me out, not paying attention to me when I'm talking to you or wanting to help me do certain things, go anywhere. I remember you just wanted to sit there and trade. And
Hmm.
that's all you wanted to do. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like at first, I was kind of like, why aren't you paying attention to me? Like, why aren't we going here? Why don't you want to go here? And then after I realized that, because you told me, you're like, this is what I want to do. I want to trade. I want to learn how to trade. And this is what I want to do. So I was like, okay, well, like when you really want to do something, you got to give it your all,
That's true.
So that's kind of like, at the first, it did hurt a little bit. I mean, it definitely put a strain on a relationship because I didn't understand what you were doing, what it was. Was it legal? Like, I'm like, is he doing something illegal? You know what I mean? Because I've never heard of Forex. I never
Yeah.
heard of the foreign exchange market. And that's when you kind of started talking to me about it. And I was like, okay, uh-huh. Numbers were like going over my head. But it's funny now, like how for me listening to you, I can actually hold a conversation
Yep.
about Forex with somebody or even investing in general.
Yeah.
So it was like, sorry, my voice cracked there, but it was because like I was listening to you all the time and you talking about it and watching you.
Yeah.
But like one thing I noticed though is that money came and money went very fast with you. And I realized over time how much of I feel like it was almost an addiction for you, I think.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even about zoning in on a goal and wanting to achieve this goal by learning and reading and just spending all your time. Like I had no problem with you. I had no problem with you doing that. And I supported you in that. But one thing I have to say is that I noticed that when it came down to losing, obviously no one wants to lose, but when it came down to losing and watching money come in, watching money leave, because at the time you were new, right? You were new trading. I noticed that your mentality was your mental health was getting extremely affected to the points where I was like, we're going to go to Blue Mountain, which is like a ski resort, and you're not bringing your computer because I needed you to take a break.
Yeah.
Because I didn't understand like how to help you because I've never seen you in like this dazed person, I guess. I don't even know if that's the right way to say it.
Yeah. No, and I do agree with that. It got to a point where when things were going good, it was all good. But when things started going wrong and I started losing a lot, it really affected my mental health. It actually did. And it is tough to lose. It's tough to lose in anything, but when you're losing money and that kind of you're the only one to blame for it because you're the one making the trades, right? And you're the one moving stop losses and taking bigger losses than you should and things like that. You're the only one to blame. There's no one else. So it's a little bit different, I think.
So it's like you can't put the blame on me. You can't put the blame on anyone. Not your boss. No one. Like it's you and only you. So who are you gonna blame?
Yeah.
So
but
like
getting kind of back into when I first started trading, right? Like I traded with a demo account for about a year. So this was just like fake money, right? Just learning about it, things like that. And then I started researching into different brokers. So a broker is someone that kind of connects you to the market. So you deposit money into the broker and once you basically click that you want to trade, they will execute that trade for you and buy you the currency, buy you the stock, whatever, right? So once I finally got a broker, that's when I finally deposited, I think it was like $200 or $250. And I traded with that for a while. I went up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. I was still new, so I wasn't risking too much, right? So at first, it took me a good 6 months to make that into like $1,000, right? It took me a while. But then all of a sudden, I just kept winning. It was at the start of September, actually, when I started just winning like almost every single trade. There was very few that I lost. And when I was losing, I was in the proper mental health to just take a small loss and then just move on to the next one. So yeah, like I was taking small losses and I was winning big every time that I would take a trade. So the money just grew exponentially. Like within 3 months, going into about December, like I grew that $1,000 to just under 10,000, I think it was, or was it over 10,000? I don't even remember.
No, it was over 10,000. I remember at first you were having a hard time getting it over 10,000. I remember because we were in university at the time, and I remember you being like, "Look, I hit the 10,000," and then next thing you know, like on our break,
again.
it would drop, and I would see you like totally being like not angry, but like you were more hungry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was almost like you couldn't get enough of it. Like you knew you can reach this goal and that was all you saw, you know?
Yeah. But I think that's when, like, as soon as December hit, I don't know what happened and what changed, but I started taking more losses. And the more losses I took, the bigger positions I started trading and the bigger losses I kept taking. And then after that, yeah, my mental health really started to decline, and I just kept trying to make it back, basically, is what I was trying to do. So I kept putting larger positions on, trying to make that recent loss that I just took for $100, $200, $300, whatever it was. I would open a larger position so I can make back that $300, like off one trade, right? But then I take another loss. And within that month of December, during exams, so that was another thing that was affecting my mental health, right? I started losing over and over and over. And yeah, I basically lost that entire $10,000.
In like less than a month.
Yep.
The thing is, I feel like all this fast money, like all the ads we see on YouTube, you know, get rich fast, do this fast, get this fast, and blow up on YouTube fast. I feel like there's so much, we're such in a fast generation that we just want to see fast results. That is really all we want right now. You know, like we want it now. And it kind of reminds me of the podcast that we just did last week where we talked about quiet quitting. And it's almost like you don't want to put in the work too long enough to actually see results or maybe get a raise or maybe hold out long enough till you find something better. So people are just doing the bare minimum. And like I mentioned, it's not just in work, it's also in our daily life, right? So if you haven't seen that podcast, here's a sneak peek of what you missed. They have a burnout. I think burnout is common in no matter what profession you're doing, whether it's YouTube or nursing, you know, whatever healthcare professional, or even working for the government, there's such thing as burnout. And I feel like a lot of people are tired of feeling that way, you know, or being overworked for, let's just say, the same wage or getting cents higher every year for their wage, you know, even though, you know, money does add up in the end, people are tired, I think. That's what I think it is. People are very tired. All right. So that was just a sneak peek of our quiet quitting. It's just funny how we got into this topic. It wasn't really planned, talk about Forex, but now I'm kind of like, now I just feel like you almost want to tell your journey of it. Because like I said, everything is just fast. Yeah. Money comes, money goes, you know?
We live in a society that, like, everything's so convenient for us. And they've made it that way where, like, we can literally pull up our phone and everything we need is right there at the touch of our fingertips. We have drive-thrus for everything now. Like, you can order stuff and have it next day delivery for Amazon if you live in certain places. Like, everything is, like, as soon as you want it, it's there.
So, like, do you feel like when you turn that $250 to $10,000, did you feel like you almost got... Is it greedy is the right word? Like, because I don't think you even touched that money. Like, you never actually enjoyed it.
Not really, no.
Because you were just so focused on, okay, so I hit 10,000. I can probably hit 1 million. And I just remember the look in your eyes. And I remember saying to you, like, oh, do you want to go here? You're like, no, I don't want to take out any money in this trading account.
The more money I have in it, the larger position sizes I can trade. And the faster I'll make it. That was the mindset I had. So I really didn't want to take out anything.
Do you regret, like, kind of not enjoying the money that, you know, that you made?
Of course I do. I think, literally, I think the only thing I took out from that was like $1,000 to buy us winter jackets.
Oh, yes.
That was
literally
literally
it.
Jackets,
though.
Yeah, that was literally it. But other than that, the money just went right back. I gave it all back. And yeah, that hurt. Let me tell you. So I feel like after I lost that money, like it took me a while to get my confidence back. And I feel like that's with anything.
Mm-hmm.
When we get broken down from whatever we're trying to achieve in life,
Yeah.
it it does affect us mentally, could affect us physically, and it takes a while to get back on your feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like people that start diets, they start going to the gym and they start feeling good. If they fall off a bit, it's really hard to get back on track,
Mm-hmm.
right? It really is, and that's like I said, with anything in life, it's hard, but it's definitely worth trying again, right? So, long story short, I didn't quit. I kept trying and kept trying to learn different things. And along the way, I actually stumbled upon building a robot to trade for me. So I coded my own. I learned how to code first of all. I'm not still not great. Like I wouldn't be able to code crazy like websites and different things like that, but I know how to code for trading. I can still physically trade myself manually, but now with the robot, like it's a slower growth, but it's a more steady growth because, like you were mentioning, there was large swings. Like I would make a lot, then lose a lot, make a lot, lose a lot, make a lot, lose a lot, and there was like big swings in my my account. So now with the robot, it's just kind of slow, steady, looking more longer term,
Mm-hmm.
and over time it will eventually amount to a lot. um but yeah, I don't have to physically be there, I just have to leave my computer on, right?
Yeah. Do you find that it just helps with your mental health more because you physically trading? I noticed that you let too much of your emotions in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll hear you at your computer.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, I'll hear your computer. But do you feel like you kind of miss physically trading yourself? Because I actually think you do. I think looking into him trading and the way you are so zoned in, I think personally you are afraid. And we did a podcast about fear of success a couple
That was
weeks
pretty
back.
early on.
Yeah, it
That
was.
was within our first 10 episodes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so I'll leave a tag
Mm.
around here. But do you feel like you are afraid to get back into trading even after all these years so that you can trade? Because I've watched you trade
Mm-hmm.
and you are a very good trader.
Mm-hmm.
I don't personally, I think the bot just helps you not get your emotions in the way.
Yep.
But I think that as soon as you forgive yourself for you losing a lot of that money, um, I think you can get bigger than what you are now.
Yeah.
You
No, you're
know.
probably right. But that's the thing, right? It's hard to not let your emotions get in the way,
Hmm.
right? Especially when money's involved, right? It's a different it's a different feeling when you're not only just losing, but you're also losing money, right? No one wants to just give away money, and that's what it feels like you're doing. I feel like discipline is something you really, really need if you're going to be trading. Like it's very, very important.
When you browse features on YouTube and YouTube randomly promotes different videos, I see a lot of people talking about Forex and grow money fast, turn this into this, do this, and you'll be the best trader of your life or whatever. Do you like, how do you feel about those type of videos? Because I always see videos like that and I'm like, and don't get me wrong, I know it's possible because obviously I've watched him do it over time, grow it really fast. But as a new trader, trading by yourself, like, is it real? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I
I don't
think
know.
I think anything is possible, right? Because I've done it. I've grown the money fairly quickly. So you can make money very fast.
With high leverage.
Yes, yes, you have to leverage it, and Um, so basically, leverage is like when the broker, let's say for every dollar you put in, they'll give you a 30 to 1 leverage or 100 to 1 leverage. Some brokers, if they're offshore, they'll give you like 1,000 to 1 leverage, which is absolutely insane. But for every dollar you bet, they're gonna like 10 times that amount or 30 times that amount. You know what I mean?
So then if you lose, then you lose really fast.
Yeah, they're putting the money in for you to open up a bigger position, but you're still taking the loss if you lose, right?
Mhm.
They're not taking that loss. So, yeah, you can make money fairly quickly with leverage, but you can also lose money. So it's definitely a double-edged sword.
Mhm.
It's not all sunshine and rainbows, you know? Yeah, no, it really depends on the person. That's what I think. Like, how dedicated are you to learning it and how disciplined can you be? That is honestly what it breaks down to.
Mhm.
And not everybody has those skills. Not everybody is willing to put the work in, but it also depends on how much you start with too, which is something very few people mention. They say, oh yeah, you can make this much money, but they never say how much you need to start with to make that much money, because it does depend on how much money you have in the account, how much you're going to make, right?
Mhm. With the leverage, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So, um that's one thing that is rarely advertised.
Mhm. From back in 2016 to 2000 and what was that, 18, I think?
Yeah, it was
When I
2018,
saw you
19.
make all that money, you know, your confident level was to the moon,
Hmm.
you know, and then when you lost it,
It took me a while to get back.
yeah, it took you a lot. It took you a while to get back, and I felt like, you know, you changed a
Hmm.
lot. I feel like you were trying to learn new ways instead of trying to remember like how you even got to that position. You know, like you couldn't. I feel like you couldn't get back into that mental position when you saw that it was just going down, you know? But I feel like now, from me looking at it, I feel like now your mental health has definitely improved. And I think I want to say you were about 80% back to your confidence level. That's
Yeah.
what I think.
Yeah.
Because I see you now, you know, focusing and hammering in on it like how you used to be. It's not like how you were when you were in that dark position and I didn't know how to get you out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, like I feel like I still have a little bit of reservations,
Hmm.
um and a little bit of fear that it could potentially happen again, but you are right. I've definitely gotten back a lot of my confidence, and when I do manually trade, which I don't necessarily that much anymore, to be honest. Like, I when I was making that fast money, I was trading off lower time frame charts with large positions. So now when I do trade, I trade more like a swing trader,
Hmm.
basically using higher time frames, looking for longer trades to hold for multiple days at a time, lower position sizes. So it's a more relaxed trade rather
Hmm.
than the scalping where you're trying to make a large amount of money in a short amount of time,
Yeah.
right? So now it's more relaxing, and it's easier definitely on my mental health. And yeah, my robot basically is the one that's scalping.
Hmm.
My robot is taking trades off a 15-minute time frame, so it takes trades more often than I do manually.
I remember when asked you that, I was like, ooh, can you teach me how to trade? And you're like, sure. I'll teach you the basics. And then you taught me the basics. And then you're like, okay,
Here, read this book.
yeah, read this book. It will help you understand it a little bit more. And how long it took me to get through that book. In my mindset, I was like, all right, like I'm about to turn this $300 to $3 million overnight. Like, let's do this. You know what I mean? Like, I was
Mhm.
really excited. And then when I saw all the work that had to go into learning the
Yeah.
skills, I remember one trade that I took, I was down a penny I was down
Yeah.
one. Do you remember? I was down my first trade. I was down 1 cent, and I was like, "All right, I'm out. I'm out. I am not putting myself through this stress." And you're like, you didn't even give it a chance.
Yeah, no. And that's kind of how everybody starts.
I was only down a penny. That was my first trade.
Honestly, that's how everybody starts. As soon as you start learning about it and you start seeing winning trades happen, it's like you think that now you've solved the puzzle and you'll be able to make $1 million overnight.
Mhm.
Within the first year of trading. You'll be a multi-millionaire, right? And I feel like that's how everybody starts. And the journey that I've taken is a journey that from like listening to other people talk about their journey and like large investors that
Yeah.
have like been around for a long time on Wall Street and different things, have their own investing firms or hedge funds and things like that. They've all had a similar journey
Mhm.
where they came into it with high expectations of like quick and easy money. And then they got broken down a bit and humbled.
Mhm.
I think that's the right word.
Didn't you say that there was a guy who made like his millions in investing and then lost it, made it back and lost it, whatever? Like, I don't know who that person was. I just remember you quickly telling me this story.
I think you're referring to Jesse Livermore,
Okay.
who was a trader back in like the 1920s, 1930s, somewhere around there. And back then, he made like over $100 million
Oh wow.
back then trading. Yeah. But like you said, yeah, he built up like comparably now, like probably billions of dollars and lost it all, built it back, lost it all. Like there was one point they were literally kicking him out of the trading floors because he was basically just cleaning them out.
Mhm.
But yeah, he there's been lots of people like that. But yeah, he built up that money, lost it all. Um and eventually, sadly, he ended up killing himself. Yeah, there's actually a book kind of based off him. They never actually say his name, but
Mhm.
based on the story of how the book goes, you know it's based on his life. But it's called The Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, which I listened to the audiobook on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, you hear all the ups and downs that he went through. And like I said, that's basically, I feel like that is just the journey of a trader. You come in with high hopes of fast and easy money, and you kind of get humbled. You will.
Mhm.
It's not guaranteed, but the odds are fairly high that it will humble you. Honestly, I feel like nothing is really easy. People like to make it out to look easy because you see people's success, you don't see the struggles before the success.
Yeah.
Right? I've mentioned this before that there's a reason you go to school for 4 years to go get a degree,
Mhm.
right? That you go into an entry level position out of school and you have to build up your position in a company or a corporation. And eventually you start making more money. And I feel like that's the same way with other ways to make money in life, that it's going to be a learning process. It's going to take maybe a few years to learn it. It really depends on the person and how dedicated you are to learn something. But whatever venture you take, there's a learning process.
Mhm.
It's just what it is.
Yeah.
Nothing comes easy. You got to put the work in, and you will reap the benefits if you're dedicated and disciplined over time.
Like, do you think money was the only reason why you started trading, or do you think that there was more to it?
No, there was a lot more to it than just the money. It was the self-reliance, not having to rely on other people for income
Mhm.
and acceptance and other things like that, and the freedom to choose when I wanted to trade and how I wanted to trade. And basically everything was, it was, like I said, just basically self-reliance. That's the main thing that I think that drew me towards it.
Mm-hmm.
But then also the money was definitely there. It was definitely a part of it.
No denying that part.
Money is the reason why we work every day. Like we get up and we go to work and we find side hustles because we need to live. We want to, and it's not always the money necessarily. It's what the money allows us to do. At the end of the day, the key takeaway I want to present is that whatever you're trying to do, whether it's trading, whether it's trying to start your own business, whether it's trying to start a YouTube channel
or a podcast like this one. So if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button.
Whatever you're trying to do, just don't give up. Don't have over expectations of the results you're going to get. Give it time. Just stay disciplined, stay dedicated, and eventually you should reap the benefits of the efforts put in.
I think it was a very motivating podcast, definitely on a Sunday. Kind of prepared us for a Monday to come and the week ahead of us. So if you like this video, hit that thumbs up. You can share this video if you like to. You can also subscribe to this channel because we will be here every Sunday for now. We will see you guys in the next one.
Or you can click that link over there for our previous video. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Very few companies actually offer it. So therefore, it's easier for us to just say, I'm out because I found a job for higher pay. You know what I mean?
I'm out.
But no, it's true.